In the heart of Europe, a crisis of monumental proportions was brewing. The Eurozone crisis shook the very foundations of the European Union and threatened to tear apart the Eurozone. It was a battle between debt and prosperity, between austerity and growth. But what caused this crisis, and how did the Eurozone navigate through these tumultuous times? Let's unravel the events that shaped the future of Europe. The crisis started with the revelation of Greece's hidden debt in 2009. For years, Greece had been borrowing heavily to fund its lavish lifestyle and pay for various public services, but the true extent of its debt was not widely known. When the global financial crisis hit, the truth about Greece's finances was exposed, and investors started to get nervous. This sparked concerns about the sustainability of Greece's finances and the viability of the Eurozone as a whole. The crisis spread quickly, as investors grew increasingly concerned about the solvency of other Eurozone countries. The value of government bonds in the affected countries plummeted, and borrowing costs for these countries skyrocketed. The financial markets were in turmoil, and the future of the Eurozone was in jeopardy. The crisis was also complicated by the fact that the Eurozone lacked a centralized mechanism for addressing financial crises, which meant that each country was left to fend for itself. The crisis had a contagion effect, as the problems in one country quickly spread to others. The affected countries were forced to implement austerity measures and structural reforms in order to secure financial assistance from the Eurozone and the International Monetary Fund. The austerity measures were highly controversial, as they involved cuts to public services and a reduction in spending on social programs. This sparked widespread protests and social unrest, as people were frustrated with the impact of the measures on their daily lives. The crisis raised serious concerns about the viability of the euro as a common currency. The lack of a centralized mechanism for addressing financial crises and the inability of the Eurozone countries to agree on a common approach to the crisis raised questions about the future of the Eurozone. There were fears that the crisis could lead to the breakup of the Eurozone and the collapse of the euro, with potentially disastrous consequences for the European economy. In response to the crisis, the European Union and the Eurozone countries took a number of measures to try and stabilize the situation. The EU established a series of bailout programs, which provided financial assistance to the most affected countries, in exchange for austerity measures and structural reforms. The goal of these programs was to restore the stability of the Eurozone, and restore the confidence of the financial markets. Germany played a crucial role in the response to the crisis. As the largest and strongest economy in the Eurozone, Germany was seen as the only country capable of providing the leadership and financial support necessary to solve the crisis. However, Germany's insistence on austerity measures was controversial, and sparked widespread protests in the affected countries. The EU also established the European Financial Stability Facility, EFSF, which was designed to provide financial assistance to countries facing difficulty in financing their debt. The EFSF was intended to be a temporary solution, and it was eventually replaced by the European Stability Mechanism, ESM, which was established in 2012. The affected countries were also required to implement structural reforms in order to restore the competitiveness of their economies and improve their long-term growth prospects. These reforms involved changes to the labor market, pension systems, and other areas, and were intended to make the affected countries more attractive to investors and to restore their competitiveness. Despite the challenges and difficulties faced during the Eurozone crisis, the European Union and the Eurozone countries have come together to find a solution. Through cooperation, leadership, and a commitment to reforms, the affected countries have taken steps towards stability and growth. The crisis has been a wake-up call for the Eurozone, reminding us of the need for strong institutions, fiscal responsibility, and a commitment to shared prosperity. As the Eurozone continues to recover and move forward, we can be confident that it has the resilience and determination to overcome any obstacle and create a brighter future for all of its citizens. Thanks for watching History Said So. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe for more.